तस्मै श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति सापदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथां तं सजीवम् सावधेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरवते नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंह दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुदैवतां पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। So last time we were discussing the introduction. In that we were discussing the definition of pure devotional service. So we discussed this verse. Anyavilasita sunne jnana karnavita anukulena krishnanushilanam bhakti uttamaha. So in this, anyone remembers what are the Swarupa Lakshan of pure devotional service as per this verse? Who can say?
अनुकूलेन
कृष्णानुशीलनम
कृष्णशीलनम्
Right. Anukulena krishnanushilanam. That is the Swarupa Lakshan. And Tatastha Lakshan is, who can say Tatastha Lakshan? Some other devotee.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I speak, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Anyavilasita shunyam Prabhuji, jnana karma dinavritam. Free from jnana and karma. That
Right. Correct. So we discussed this, and in that we were discussing Jnana Karmadi Anaditam. We discussed the Swarup Lakshan Anukulena, that is favorably living to Krishna. And more important is having an intention to please Krishna. And then Anushilanam means both. It also means following, it also means constant. So like another definition which we know, so ahituki apratihata. So this anu can be apratihata also. And ahituki is anya avilashita punya. And we do both kinds of activities. We do our activities by using our words, by using our mind, by using our body. And we do varti, that is positive or nivarti. So silana means activity or engagement of our body, mind and words in the activity. So when the activities are done, following in the fourth steps of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and they are done without any break for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without any material desire and without any covering of jnana and karma adi. Then that becomes pure devotional service. So this anu is the very important word here. Has to be as per Guru Sadhu Shastra. We can't say that anything I do that is devotional service. His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj have given a very famous uh, Bhakti Shastri classes on NOD. So in his class he says that there was one person in Bombay, so he would always keep tulsi plant with him, tulsi leaves with him. And he had a feeling that I will not take anything out first offering to God. So, but uh, he was like, whenever he would get tea, so he would put one tulsi in the tea also and offer to God and then take it. So Maharaj was telling, in his case, if you see, Anukulena Krishna is there. He wants to please Krishna, and that's why he is putting tulsi in the tea also. But that is not Anu, that is not as per Guru Sadhu Shastra. So this will not come under pure devotion service. So we cannot say that, okay, whatever I want to do, I do for pleasing Krishna. It has to be as per Sadhu Shastra. And that is important. In the Bhakti Vidyan was telling that one time he was traveling and he asked a person who was wearing Kanchivala in Bengal because Maharaj saw him drinking coffee. Maharaj asked him like that. So he was telling that tea is how the coffee is made, that is made using white milk and black powder of coffee. And when they both are mixed, the golden color comes. So when I drink coffee, it reminds me of a golden avatar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this also may seem that he is remembering Krishna, but then this also will not come under your devotional practice. Okay, voice breaking now. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji, little bit it is breaking.
Yes,
Little
Prabhuji.
bit breaking. Okay, let me change the signal. Then we'll let that. Now is it better?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
yes. Okay. So I was telling that this anu is a very important aspect, as I was saying, that it may seem that some people are doing devotional service, But then that devotional service, if it is not as per Guru Sadhu Shastra, then it cannot be considered as pure devotional service. That is a very important aspect which we have. So then we discussed Anukulena, Anushilanam, and how these devotional service or these activities which we do under Guru Sadhu Shastra for the pleasure of the Lord. Then what happens? These activities are no more material activities. These activities becomes spiritual activities. So two things are important. One is under Guru Sadhu Shastra, and second is it is done for the pleasure of the Lord and without any material desire or without being covered by Gyan and Karma. And especially these two characteristics are most important. That is doing for the pleasure of the Lord and doing under Guru Sadhu Shastra. So any activity if we do for the pleasure of the Lord and under Guru Sadhu Shastra, and that becomes pure devotion service, and that is no more a material activity, although externally it may appear so. But if we are doing this, then actually it is a pure devotion service. So suppose if a spiritual master has told a disciple that you should preach, and he is doing this activity for the pleasure of the spiritual master, for the pleasure of Krishna, Yatya Prasada, Bhagavad Prasado, and he is engaged wholeheartedly in this activity. So this activity of preaching becomes a pure devotional service for him. Same way, if a spiritual master tells somebody that you should make a beautiful temple for the Lord, so even making a temple becomes a pure devotional service. So that is why these two aspects, especially in the Swarupa Lakshana, that is Anu and Anukulenaha, is very important. So if you want to know whether our activities are under internal potency of the Lord or external potency of the Lord, we have to reflect on these two aspects. One is it sanctioned by my superiors? That we have to see. Doing any activity which is not sanctioned by superiors will not come under the fold of devotion service. In one lecture, His Grace Devtipati was telling at least NOC should be there. One is asking superiors with a desire to have their blessing. So that is, you go to the superior that, oh, I want your guidance. I was thinking like this. What do you feel? I want to know what you want. So in that kind of situation, a superior will bless also, will guide also properly. Another way is where he is going just for asking permission. So best is blessing. Second level is permission that, Prabhu, actually I have made a plan, I have booked tickets, and I came to inform you that I am going from these dates to these dates to this place for this purpose. So please give your permission. So this is second level, where you have made your plan, but still you seek permission. So you inform, you go like that. And third is first is blessing, second is permission, third is informing, where you just send a message that Prabhu, I am leaving today. I'll be back after 10 days. Hare Krishna. So that is third. And fourth is NOC, no objection certificate. So NOC means you tell, suppose you are staying in a center, you tell your OC that, Prabhu, I am going for 10 days out, and if Prabhu ask about me, you can inform me, or you can tell Prabhuji about my going out. So that is no objection certificate. No one can say that you didn't ask because you informed OC, or you inform somebody and then go and you tell him that you can inform. So this is NOC. So blessings, permission, information, NOC. So at least NOC to should be there. NOC is a boundary. Beyond NOC, so he'll be fully in Maya only, fully in material energy. In the material world also, you see, these are very simple things, but you see how much difference they make. In the material world also, suppose there is a soldier on the border, and his superior tells him that now go out and fight, go out and shoot. Now then he goes out on the border and shoots and he dies in the process. You will find he will get a special kind of special ceremony will happen for him. His body will be decorated in a tricolor cloth, and salute will happen in his memory, and government will give a lot of money kind of thing to his family members, and his family members also will be taken care by the government. This all will happen. Why? Because this fellow followed his superior, and in the process he died. Now just imagine, suppose army has put their tent on the border, and one soldier midnight he gets up, and then whimsically he just goes out on the border and starts shooting some of the opponent, and he's killed in the process. You will find now he will not get all this. First question will be asked, why did he go alone like this? And then the superior will say, oh, I also don't know. He midnight without informing anyone and no one told him, he just whimsically went. So he will not be given all those benefits which the previous soldier got. So how much difference it makes? One is following, another is not following. Sometimes being in Kaliva, especially because of our ego, or maybe because of some upbringing, there is a tendency that we feel a lot of hesitation or uneasiness or unwillingness to seek permission or to seek blessings. But it is very important. You see in Mahabharata, when Kauravas and the Pandavas, they are about to start a battle. The difference between the Kauravas and the Pandavas are, in case of Kauravas, they were not collecting blessings, but they were collecting numbers. Oh, we have so many soldiers, we have so many weapons. But in case of the Pandavas, they were collecting blessings. Even before start of the battle, Arjuna seeks blessings from Dronacharya, Bhishma, Kripa, all, although they are on the opponent side. And see, the moment he was seeking their blessings, what was coming out from their mouth? Vijayi Bhava, Vijayi Bhava, Vijayi Bhava. Like that. So it appears to be a very simple thing, but it makes a lot of difference. When we are doing some service under the direction of the Lord. Like recently I was coming from Guwahati to Pune. So I was coming in a plane. I was just thinking, if something happens and if I die now, because plane, we don't know, no? Sometimes something happens. So I was just thinking that if I am doing this by asking, and I am trying to remember the Lord also, then even if something happens, Krishna will give me a best possible destination. So then I don't have to worry. But if we are just whimsically going from one place to another, and we are wanting to do something which we are not told, then actually we don't connect to the spiritual energy of the Lord. So like our chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily is told by our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. Now if you do it for pleasure of the Lord, it becomes a very transcendental divine activity. And that goes, and that is true for everyone. You will be surprised to what extent Prabhupada talks about following. We will read, it will come later on. There we'll continue this particular aspect. So Anya Abhilasita Sunyam means no other desire. We discussed this last time also, why this word ita is used. And then Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. So in simple terms, if we want to understand what is this jnana, this is jnana which is directed towards impersonal conclusion. This is a jnana which is directed towards the philosophy of oneness. So this jnana should not cover over our bhakti. And what is this karma? This karma is directed towards sense gratification. The activities which are directed towards sense gratification, the activities which are directed towards trying to enjoy oneself, they are known as karma or the fruitive activities. So our devotion service neither should get covered over by jnana, the knowledge which is directed towards oneness, neither it should get covered over by the fruitive activities which are directed towards one's sense gratification. So these two aspects are very important. Also, in our case, if you want to know more subtle aspects of this jnana karmadi anavitam, so in one lecture I was hearing His Grace Gauranga was sharing that suppose you have a lot of nature to read, you want to read Acharya's books, you want to read Prabhupada's books, and suppose your superior tells you that Prabhu, we have this particular service to do, so please come, and you say no Prabhu, I can't do this service because I have to read. So he was saying then that also is jnana anavitam. Same way, you are very active in services. You are going out preaching, you are connecting to the people, you are bringing people to the temple. But now your superior says, Prabhu, don't do so much. You take a break and now study Prabhupada's books, chant very nicely. And then you say, no, Prabhu, I need to go out, I need to do this, I need to do this. That means he is getting covered over by karma tendency. So this is more subtle aspect of jnana karmadi analitam. And then adi is, here as it is mentioned, artificial detachment, mystic yoga or astrology. So we should not allow our bhakti to get covered over by renunciation or mystic yoga or astrology. So now, after discussing this, so adi here more is explained that karma adi also refers to dana, tapa or yajna. And from history, we can see people trying to do these things perfectly have not been able to become successful. We know this story that how King Nirga was so much known for charity. But then we find that how one mistake he did, the same cow which was given before to a Brahmana, he gave again because it came back to the second Brahmana. And then because of displeasing the Brahmana, he became a lizard in the next life. So same way we see Tapaha, Ravana did so much austerity, but that austerity didn't purify Ravana. In Yajna, the sages at Naimisharanya, the Yogic Brahmanas, so elaborately and so expertly they were doing these yajnas, but they could not become purified. In fact, we see that how the Yogic Brahmanas, they became more ritualistic because of the performance of the yajnas, like that. So none of these things should cover over bhakti. When we say cover over bhakti means our faith should be in the process of bhakti. We should not think that these things are more important and if I don't do these things, then what will happen? We can use these things as a support to bhakti. Like when we say austerities, so what is the meaning of austerities in the devotee's life? We do austerities to increase our devotion service. For us, austerity is not a devotion service. We get up early in the morning so that we can chant nicely, so that we can read nicely, so that we can hear nicely. We eat simple food so that our senses are not agitated and we can absorb more in Krishna. Why we fast? So that we can fill that day with more chanting, reading, hearing about Krishna. So for us, austerity means this. Same way, dana. So we do dana to the service of the Lord so that we can make some offering in the service of the Lord, like that. So for us, all these things, they should support our bhakti. We should not think that, oh, my bhakti depends on them. Or we should not think that these things are very important, otherwise I cannot practice devotion service. Or we should not think that devotion service is not so special. These things also make a lot of difference. Like sometimes people, they develop this kind of idea for astrology. And they feel, everything happens as per astrology only. And, even as a devotee, most of things function like astrology, as per your karma. So if somebody has this kind of idea, means his bhakti is getting covered over by astrology. We have to know that these things, if You can use as a support to bhakti, you use it, otherwise don't use it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, why young devotees should not much refer astrology, why young devotees should not worship demigod. Why? Because there is a tendency in them that their faith will get affected. We see Arjuna worshipping demigods, we see gopis worshipping demigods. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur says a pure devotee can worship demigods. Why? Because no matter what happens, their faith on Krishna, their attention on Krishna will never get distracted. Now, someone may ask then why the pure devotees at all are going to demigods if they are so fixed at lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says sometimes these pure devotees, in order to enhance their service to the Lord, because of their feeling that we want to offer more service to the Lord or we want to achieve Krishna, sometimes for that reason they may go to demigod. Like we hear Gopi is worshipping Katyani, but for what? For getting Krishna. So pure devotee means whatever it takes to come closer to Krishna, he will take it. But his goal is Krishna. Same way Arjuna went to the demigods because he was advised by the Lord. And for what purpose? So that he can get a weapon, so that he can fight on the behalf of the Lord. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in case of new devotees, they should not go. Why? Because suppose a new devotee goes to Ganpati and he says, oh Ganpati Baba, this obstacle is coming, please help me. And suppose next day the obstacle goes, he will say, Bab Re, in a single day, Ganpati ji solved my problem. And here for last 4 years I am doing Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, worshipping the Lord. Nothing happens much. Why to give so much time to Krishna when Ganpati is doing everything in one day? So if suddenly faith gets shaken up, that's why for a new devotee it is mentioned they should be exclusively worshipping Krishna. Same way astrology, you may be trying to chant, read here, and then some health concerns are coming, and then you go to astrologer, and then he says, you have to do this particular kind of ritual, or you have to go to this particular kind of doctor, and then you are cured. Suddenly, so much faith increases on the astrology that, Arey Babre, this is how everything is happening. Then tomorrow, when your chanting is not happening properly, you are feeling sleepy in the japa, you will go to the astrologer. That astrologer, why it is like that? And then astrologer will say, actually, as per your prarabdha, you have this tendency to sleep more. And then you will not try to chant attentively. You will remember the words of astrologer that, oh, actually, I have this karma to sleep more. Then during chanting time, you will properly sleep for 2 hours. Like that. So that is being covered over by astrology. So these are very sensitive and we should be very careful. Many times devotees, they told me, they asked there are some devotees, brahmacharis only, they know some astrology or something. They asked my data also. That, Prabhu, you give your data, we want to know. Then I told Prabhu, see, I don't have much faith in the astrology. And I feel whether whatever astrology tells, in any case, I have to depend on the Lord. So I don't worry much about it. And that is the important thing in our devotee's life. At the same time, if some devotee has some chronic disease and is very undecisive, is not knowing, and that also majorly in cases of grastas where they need to worry about career or some very, kind of extreme situation. That time we can refer astrology, that also under the guidance of a superior. Otherwise, there is a tendency to become very much affected by the astrology. Otherwise, you would like to know how is this month for me? How is this month for me? How is this month for me? As per the astrology, like that. So now, similar verse is this one also, which also talks about pure devotion service. Sarupadhi vinurmuktam tat parattvena nirmalam shikena rishikesh Chevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. So here this particular verse is almost similar to the verse which we discussed before. That is Anya Vilasita Sunyam Gyan Karmanavitam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttamaha. So can anyone figure out which word relates to which word of that verse? Like Saropadhi Vinirmuktam, free from all kinds of material designations. This will relate to which line of the previous verse?
ज्ञान कर्मादि
ज्ञान कर्म
अन्य अभिलाष
हाँ, अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम. Saropadi Vinirmuktam will relate to Anya Abhilasita Sunyam. So Abhilasa means we have many desires. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And Saropadi Vinirmukta means one is free from all kinds of material designations. That I don't want anything in my life. I am not an engineer, I am not a doctor, I am not this, I am not this, like that. Then Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. Which line it relates to the previous verse?
ज्ञान कर्म अनावृतम
Yes. Yes. Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. Now Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam.
अनुकूल कृष्णानुशील
Yeah. Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam. So like that, this verse also is similar to the previous verse. So this His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj also relates this verse to the previous verse. In this verse, the Tat Paratvena, with devotion to him, taking him as the highest object, is the equivalent of Anukulenaha. Okay, here Tat Paratvena is Anukulenaha. Then Sarupadi Vinirmuktam is Anyavilasita Sunyam. And Sevanam is equivalent to Anushilanam. And Nirmalam is equivalent to Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. So here only one thing, that is that Tat Paratvena is equivalent to Anukulenaha. All other things what we said was correct. Sarpadi Vinirmuktam is Anyavilasita Sunyam. And Nirmalam is Gyan Karmadi Anavitam. And Sevanam is Anushilanam. And Tat Paratvena is Anukulenaha. So like that he says this. So Krishna is the proprietor of the senses, and we should not use anything of the master without the permission of the master. Now here you see what Srila Prabhupada says. Srila Prabhupada said that a pure devotee does not engage any of his senses without first taking permission from the Lord. And once Prabhupada told one of his disciple, you don't move this pen from this place on the table to this place on the table without my permission, so this is bhakti. His Holiness Swami Maharaj narrates this. So I was saying that how Anu is such an important aspect in devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada is telling to this extreme that disciples should not lift and keep a pen from this side of the table to other side of the table also. Yeah, so this is the verse which is defining the definition of the pure devotional service. So now we'll discuss chapter number 1, that is the characteristic of pure devotional service. Okay, in this now here, this is one important aspect which His Holiness Swami Maharaj speaks. So here we saw Anya Abhilasita Sunyam. A devotee should not have any other desire than the desire to serve Krishna. So then he narrates one incident that in Bombay there was a devotee
who asked Prabhupada that if a devotee sees a man is drowning, should he save him? Because a devotee is supposed to be engaged in unalloyed devotion service. How many of you feel that uh, a devotee should save him? Okay, only one is feeling. Okay, many of you are feeling. Now you see what Prabhupada will say. So a devotee is supposed to be engaged in unalloyed devotion service. He is not supposed to mix it with other activities. So where does saving a drowning man come on the list of devotional activities? So should a devotee save him? So Srila Prabhupada replied, in principle he should not save him. Srila Prabhupada is saying in principle he should not save him. Why? We have no business in interfering with other people's action and reaction. Because their action and reaction will go on, and by interfering we are not really helping them or doing anything good for ourselves either. Then Srila Prabhupada said that if we don't save the drowning man, people may criticize. Oh, he's a devotee. He could have saved the man. He didn't save the man. He has got no compassion. And they will go on criticizing. So Srila Prabhupada said there is another consideration called Lok Vichar. So there are something which we are not supposed to do, being a devotee of the Lord, but still we do. Why? Because of Lok Vichar. So in this case also, ideally we are not supposed to save him because his action and reaction they will come on him, and we have no business in interfering with him. But Srila Prabhupada said another consideration is Lok Vichar. Then people will say, Arey, he was a devotee, he didn't save, because people don't know about devotion service. So as a preaching movement, to have a better appreciation in the eyes of public, we will try to save that drowning man. So like we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing Pindadan to his father. Ideally, he is not supposed to. He is a sannyasi, and sannyasis are not supposed to do any of the samskaras. But he does why? Because of Lok Vichar. Same way, Prabhupada also is saying here. So, because of Lok Vichar, so sometimes a devotee may do something which is not strictly included in the category of devotion service out of consideration for public sentiment or popular opinion, so that people don't become hostile to the devotees and thus make it harder for themselves to take to Krishna consciousness. So, being a preaching movement, we don't want public to go away from us. So, as a matter of lok vichar, one may do this. So, one time what happened, there was Rath Yatra going on in New York, and in one house, when they were going, suddenly a fire broke out. So, what our devotees they did intelligently, they took out the big cloth of Rath, and they tore apart the big cloth of Rath, and then they made a cloth as a kind of a base. And then they asked the people who were trapped in the building where the fire came to jump from the building. And the people were jumping one by one. And in that cloth of Rath, they captured all the people one by one and they saved their life. So it came in the news that, see, Hare Krishna, they saved the people who were burning in fire, and it was such a nice thing. So the matter went to Prabhupada that Swamiji, see, everywhere we are being glorified because we saved all these people who were trapped and they were about to burn. So Srila Prabhupada says this is very nice. People will appreciate this. Somehow we were there, and as a matter of lok vichar, we should do. But this does not mean that now our devotees will keep searching which house is on fire and we will go and save them. We should not become now a fire rescue movement. So we are dependent on Krishna, and Krishna takes care of every living entity. So we don't have to worry about other things. So this also is very important clarification in our case. Like when I was working, that time my father made a house, and then they did this Grah Pravesh ceremony. So they called the Brahmana and Yajna and everything was going on. My father told me, you also sit. So I was not feeling to sit, but then my father pushed me that you should sit. So although I was sitting in the Yajna, but I was chanting the holy names of the Lord. And whatever he was telling, Swaha, Swaha, I was doing. But I was chanting holy names of the Lord. We had more faith in the chanting. Same way you see in case of Prabhupada also. Even while doing opening of Krishna Balram temple, Prabhupada said, as far as I am concerned, the moment devotees came here and chanted the holy names of the Lord, Krishna has come. But the smart Brahmanas, they will not understand this. And we want the temple to be recognized as a bona fide and authorized temple. We want public to come. So that is why we will also call the Brahmanas to do yagyas, to do all these kinds of rituals. Otherwise, Prabhupada said, for me, it is done like that. So same way, we may do certain things as a matter of lok vichar, but our main things are the 9 process of devotion service. These are our main things, and we depend on the Lord for this. Okay, so now the characteristic of pure devotion service. So this is now the first chapter of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is characteristics of pure devotional service. So we'll recite the Sanskrit verse. क्लेशा अग्नि सुबदा मोक्षा लघुताकृत सुदलभा संद्रात्ना सांदरनांद विशेषात्मा श्री कृष्ण आकर्षणी च सा. So these are the characteristics of pure devotion service. So if somebody is following that verse which we discussed, Anyavilasita Sunyam verse, then he can experience these characteristics of pure devotion service. So what are they? Klesagani, Subhadha, Moksh Laguta Krit, Sudulabha, Sandranand, Vishesh Atma, Sri Krishna Akarshanicha. So these are characteristics of pure devotion service. So Klesagani means one starts feeling relief from the miseries, reduces or nullifies all kinds of suffering. That is Klesagani. Then Subhadha. Subhadha means all auspicious. Moksh Lagota Krit derived the happiness from impersonal liberation. Sudulabha rarely attained. Sandranand Vishesh Atmaha incalculably condensed bliss. Sri Krishna Akarshani attracts Sri Krishna. So these are 6 characteristic of pure devotional service. Klesagani, Subhada, Moksh Laguta Krit, Sudulabha, Sandaranand Vishesh Atmaha, Sri Krishna Akarshanihi. So out of them, now the first one is very relevant and one of uh, characteristic which needs lot of discussion. That is Klesaganihi. So Klesagani means the moment a person starts practicing pure devotion service. So pure devotion service means following that verse which we discussed. So what happens? His suffering starts reducing. His miseries they start reducing. So how that happens? So in the scriptures it is mentioned that why we suffer. So mainly we suffer because of papam, because of the sin which we have done. And what is the root cause of papam? That is avidya, ignorance. So because of avidya, papam, we do papam, and because of papam, we suffer. Right? So whenever we do any sinful activity, so what happens? It has unmanifest reaction. And then from that, two things happens. One is the prarabdha, the manifest reaction, and then the phala, that is the fruit, the suffering. And another aspect of aprarabdha is that you get a kutam. Kutam is the tendency, and bijam means now the specific desire. This is difference between kutam and bijam. Kutam means the tendency, and bijam means the specific desire. And then you again do papam, and then again aprarabdham. So suppose somebody stole. So stealing, after the moment he stole, then he will have unmanifest reaction. Then after some time he is caught by the police, that is prarabdha. And then he is beaten up and put in the jail, that is phala. But not only this, because he stole, that particular sinful activity of stealing will also create a tendency in his heart that is known as kutam. So that tendency will be there now. It will increase now, that tendency. And then after some time, the moment he is released from the jail, he will have specific desire to again steal. And then again he will be caught by the police, and then more phala result, suffering will come. But then again he will strengthen his tendency now. Now the tendency will increase for in him to steal more. And then bijam, like this. So like that a person is trapped in the cycle of suffering. So I made one PPT, cycle of sin. So here, you see what is kutam. Should I steal this money? This tendency is kutam. And bijam means I will steal this money on this and this date. Specific desire is bijam. Tendency, general tendency is kutam. And then we see that this happens where a prarabdha and prabdha result they come, and he has to suffer. So like here, because of stealing, he's put in the bars, and unmanifest reaction is that first is he steals, and then it takes time for prarabdha and kutam to manifest. Same way, should I enjoy this lady, this tendency, this is kutam. And then I want to enjoy this lady on this date, that is sinful desire. And then prarabdha and aprarabdha. So if you observe your thought process, many of us, because of our sinful life in the past, we will have many of such tendencies. Like Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, Devi Sampad and Asurik Sampad. So Devi Sampad are the people who are born with a divine kutam. And Asurik Sampad are the people who are born with demonic kutam. So some of us you will find in some tendencies we'll have which are demonic in nature. We may feel, we may have such a desire. Should I enjoy this lady? Should I steal? So that means these demonic tendencies are coming from previous life, sinful life which we have done. And if some divine tendencies are coming, that should I go to temple? Should I chant? What is the purpose of life? That means we have done some agya sukruti in the previous life. So like that, this is the cycle which we discussed, that because of avidya, we do, okay, in this it is mentioned in a different way. So because of avidya, this we have these tendencies. So whenever we do sinful activities, this papa happens, and because of this aprarabdha, then prarabdha phala, and kutam bijam, and sinful. And initially at first place, how this sinful desire came? Because of avidya. So because of avidya, we have sinful desires, and then we are trapped in this cycle, like that. So now we'll discuss in tomorrow how devotion service purifies and how devotion service nullifies these sinful tendencies and reactions. And that is the reason why a devotee will feel less suffering. So this we'll discuss tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Yes, any question anyone has? The sound and the video was better now?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, another Prabhu.
Okay. ठीक है. By one, Sagarpur is asking, by one sinful activity, tendency comes to commit that particular sin or other sins also. Same for desire for sin also. Yeah. Generally, what happens whenever we do any particular sinful activity, Putam will have a tendency which will be more for that particular sinful activity, but it also starts creating that tendency for other sinful activities also. You see, in case of Ajamila, how did he start? Okay. You see, in case of Ajamila, how did he start? Initially, he became tempted by seeing a illicit kind of connection. So initially, he got tempted to a illicit connection, and then he brought the prostitute. But after that, you see, he was engaged in all sinful activities. So what happens is Kutam will surely be for a particular sin which we have done, but it also creates a general tendency for sin. Is it okay, Sagarpo?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, any other devotee want to know?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yes, bro.
प्रभु जी, जैसे हमने एक प्रभुपाद जी का एग्जाम्पल देखा, वहां पे प्रभुपाद जी बोलते हैं कि बिना मेरी अनुमति की पेन इधर से उधर भी मत रखना। तो वहां पे फिर ये वाला क्वेश्चन दोबारा से आ जाता है कि फिर हम अपने हिसाब से क्या कर सकते हैं। मतलब जब हमें कहा जाता है अपना इंटेलिजेंस लगा के करो, अगर प्रभुपाद जी इस लेवल पे जाके कह रहे हैं बिना मेरी अनुमति के तुम पेन भी नहीं हटा सकते, तो फिर यहाँ पे तो हमें लगता है फिर एक एक छोटी चीज भी हमें पूछनी चाहिए।
So one time somebody asked His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj, then what is the scope of using our intelligence? So Maharaj said we should use our intelligence in following what is told to us. Suppose it is told do preaching, like Prabhupada was told do preaching, then he used his intelligence to preach. So now obviously we have to be practical. We cannot ask every small thing also, right? You cannot ask should I go for washroom or not? Should I do this or not? But point is you have to understand the aspect of following, aspect of being accountable, aspect of seeking blessings. See, sometimes devotees, when they don't understand this aspect, then problem happens. Sometimes I have seen devotees, they will ask those things which are not required, and they will not ask those things which are required. Means sometimes they will ask very small thing. Prabhu, can I do this? Prabhu, can I do this? Can I do? And they will do something big without asking. Meaning they have not understood the principle of following. It is very important. It's not that we have to ask every small thing. We know by our training. Why training is given? So that we know how to take decisions in our life, right? So small things we can do as per the training given, as per we are told. But we should be mature enough to know what should I ask. We should be mature enough to know that this need to be asked, like that. And also we should have a desire to please everybody. Uh, you will find in the scriptures, sometime what happens, some devotees, they worry about pleasing only the spiritual master only. Or sometimes a devotee may worry only about the mentor. I want to please him, for me he is only everything. So having more affection or more inclination towards one person is not bad. But that does not mean that we neglect others who are there in our life. So we should see that whosoever are involved in my life, I try to please all of them. I try to seek blessings from all of them, like this. And if you have a sincere attitude to follow and have blessings, then Krishna gives the intelligence by which we can understand what to ask, what not to ask, like that. We don't have to ask every small thing also. ठीक है? Yes, Aman Tiwari bro.
Clarified, Prabhuji. Similar
Huh?
doubt. Clarified, Prabhuji. Similar doubt I also wanted to ask.
Okay. Yeah. We should have a sincere desire that I don't want to do anything without blessings of devotees. I don't want to do anything which will displease them. When we have this sincere desire, then we'll find Krishna gives intelligence, that without asking also we will do those things which will please them, and Krishna will give intelligence that these things we should ask. So then we'll ask them. Yes, Akash bro.
जी अनदर क्वेश्चन अबाउट दैट वी सॉ कि जब भगवान अर्जुन को डेमीगॉड्स के पास में भेजते हैं और उनसे ब्लेसिंग्स लेने का बोलते हैं सो दैट ही कैन सर्व हिम, ताकि उनको वेपन्स वगैरह डेमीगॉड से मिल पाए। और प्योर डिवोटीज भी दे कैन वर्शिप डेमीगॉड्स बिकॉज दे वांट, जैसे गोपीज एंड और वो कृष्णा को ही चाहते हैं। बट इफ वी सी इन अर्जुनास केस पर्टिकुलरली, तो वो भगवान भी उसको वेपन्स वगैरह दे सकते, तो उसको डेमीगॉड के पास जाने की जरूरत, तो ये कंफ्यूजन ही नहीं आया था कि डेमीगॉड्स के पास जाना भी है।
What happens when Krishna comes here? He respects everyone and he does not break laws made by him. तो आप देखेंगे जैसे डेमीगॉड्स को जिम्मेदारी, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड रिसोर्सेज भगवान नहीं दिए हैं। तो आप देखेंगे भगवान यहाँ पर आते हैं तो खुद भी उन सब चीजों को फॉलो करते हैं। व्हाट इज द नीड फॉर लॉर्ड राम टू वेट एंड सीक परमिशन फ्रॉम द ओशन टू क्रॉस? कोई नहीं है, लेकिन भगवान के सारे देवी देवताओं को वो करते हैं, रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं। व्हाट इज द नीड फॉर द लॉर्ड टू कंसीडर द ब्लेसिंग्स गिवन बाय द डेमी गॉड्स टू द डीमंस? बट आप देखेंगे एक एक कंडीशन को लॉर्ड फुलफिल करते हैं, जो भी उन्होंने ब्लेसिंग दिया होगा। करेक्ट ना? तो क्योंकि लॉर्ड को पता है ये डेमी गॉड्स को मैंने ये सारी चीजें दी हैं, तो ही wants Arjuna to go to them and seek from them, and in that way he want to engage demigods also in the service of him, like that. लेकिन ये चीज क्या है, नए डिवोटीज नहीं समझ पाएंगे। यंग पीपल दे मे गेट अफेक्टेड, अरे ये देखो इनके पास तो तुरंत मिल गया, फिर वाई टू गो टू कृष्णा ओनली? बट दोज आर प्योर डिवोटीज, दे नो इवन इफ दे आर गोइंग टू demigods, they know actually it is Krishna only. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when we go to the temple, when I see Ganapati, I see that how the protection potency of my Lord is manifesting through Ganapati. So see, they have that vision. We don't have that vision. Correct, na? In our case, we get affected. Then instead of Krishna, we'll carry Ganapati everywhere, like that. So that's a pure devotee. They can worship. There is no harm. But in our case, we have to be careful, and we can be respectful to the demigods. First, we have to increase our Krishna consciousness. Then we'll be able to see all of them in connection to the Lord. ठीक है?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so thank you very much, all devotees, for taking out time coming. Yes, Prakash Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा गुरु जी, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम गुरु जी। सूरज जी,
Hare
थैंक यू
Krishna,
वेरी
yes,
मच फॉर द नाइस क्लास, वेरी नाइसली एक्सप्लेन गुरु जी ऑल द थिंग्स। मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था प्रभु जी कि जैसे आपने ज्ञान का एग्जाम्पल दिया, कर्म का एग्जाम्पल दिया, वो प्रीचिंग वाला और बुक रीडिंग वाला। तो इसमें प्रभु थोड़ा सा यही हमको प्रॉब्लम आता है कि क्या किस समय कौन सा डिसीजन लेना है, वो थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है। लाइक वो इंटेलिजेंस कैसे हम लेके आए अपने अंदर की कब पूछना है कितना पूछना है। और हम मतलब प्रॉब्लम्स तो करते हैं हम कभी कभी, तो उसको कैसे बढ़ाना है भाई।
See, answer to all these questions, whenever they were asked to Prabhupada, Prabhupada would say it requires little intelligence. And that intelligence comes by maturity. And that maturity comes by sincerely doing what we have understood by now. And slowly, gradually, it will come like that. See, in our heart, we should have this principle that I want to please devotees. So the training which you are getting, the hearing which you are having, by that you get some understanding that these things I can do and they will please, is it not? And then by this training, you also understand that certain things I need to ask. So whatever you have understood, now we can try to follow that. And then slowly, gradually, Krishna gives that maturity and understanding. ठीक है?
यस प्रभु। सो बेसिकली जो हमको बोला गया है उसको फॉलो करेंगे तो फिर धीरे धीरे हमको समझ में आएगा कि क्या पूछना है कितना पूछना है, और फिर
Yeah,
जब डाउट आता है तो पूछ सकते हैं
correct. Once like
और
His
समझ में
Holiness,
आएगा।
right? Once Radhesham Prabhu asked His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj that Maharaj, I take so many decisions and I am not able to ask you also. So how will I know that what decision I am taking is pleasing you? So Maharaj said, whatever I told you before, if you are following them very nicely, then Krishna will empower you to take decision which will be in line with what I want. So whatever is told to us, we try to follow them, and whenever possible, whatever we asked and superiors told us, we tried to follow. Then Krishna gives empowerment. Then we don't have to ask. By default, our setting becomes like that we do, which pleased them. And still, if there are some doubt or confusion, then we can ask and we can report to superiors like that. ठीक है? Main
यस
principle is important. Principle of following. If we have this attitude that we want to follow and take blessings, you will find Krishna will protect you and Krishna will give you intelligence. But if we don't have, then you will find we may superficially try to do, but then main things we will miss. When actually we should ask, we may not ask. So we should have proper attitude, and then slowly, gradually, Krishna will empower. ठीक है?
यस प्रभु। सो बेसिकली मतलब हमको नीड फील होना चाहिए कि डिवोटीज का गाइडेंस ब्लेसिंग्स हमको चाहिए।
राइट, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। जब वो होगा तो सब कुछ अपने आप हो जाएगा। वो नहीं है तो आप आर्टिफिशियली ट्राई भी करोगे तो जो पूछना नहीं है वो पूछोगे, सुप्रियत परेशान हो जाएगा। और जो पूछना है वो पूछोगे नहीं, फिर भी सुप्रियत परेशान हो जाएगा, करे ये बिना पूछे कर दिया। लाइक दैट। लेकिन अगर एटीट्यूड है तो अपने आप हो जाएगा। ठीक है?
यस।
यस आकाश प्रभु।
आई एम सॉरी प्रभु जी टू स्टैंडिंग, बट अभी जैसे मोहित प्रभु ने बोला हमें जब नीड फील हो तो एक्चुअली मैं क्वेश्चन तो समझ गया हूँ, बट ये जो नीड फील होने का आपने कहा, ये मतलब नीड फील होने का तो फिर तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा। हमें तो नीड फील हो नीड ही नहीं फील होगा डिवोटीज का ऐसे कंडीशन में। हम ही जो एग्जाम ले लिए अपना डिसीजन वही सही है।
नहीं, हम ये चर्चा कर रहे थे कि पहला एक एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए कि मुझे डिवोटीज का ब्लेसिंग चाहिए मेरे लाइफ। जब ये एटीट्यूड होगा कि मुझे डिवोटीज का ब्लेसिंग चाहिए, मुझे डिवोटीज को प्लीज करना है, जब ये एटीट्यूड होगा तो आप अपने आप ही मैच्योरली जो चीज़ पूछनी है उनको पूछोगे, और जो चीज़ बिना पूछे भी आप कर रहे हो वो उसी अनुसार करोगे जैसा सुपीरियर्स चाहते हैं। ये हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे। ठीक है? ओके,
ओके
सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।